So we have our first images of the Oppo Find N2. And what's really cool about this phone is the fact that it looks absolutely beautiful, but then the downside is it's not going to be going global. So we already know this from pretty much every single rumor possible, Oppo, is that they are not going to be going global anytime soon. With Huawei going ahead and going global, well, not global, but going other countries outside of China, Honor the same system. We kind of had an idea maybe Oppo will do the same. It looks like they are going to be kind of staying in their generalized area. Will they ship outside of just China? It's possible with countries outside of China, but most likely they're going to stay kind of in a niche, area and kind of just stay there and not move. Well, anyway, though, let's go ahead and take a look at this because this phone is actually really cool. So this is right here is the rumored Google Pixel Fold, which is going to be coming out sometime early next year. And of course, it looks absolutely beautiful, but nothing compared to this phone down here. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at it in a second. But here are some images. On the left-hand side, this is the Oppo Find N2. And on the right-hand side, it's the Galaxy Z Fold 4. Of course, Z Fold 4 being a direct comparison, being a direct competitor of the Oppo Find N2. So, you see on the left-hand side, it does not look that optimized. It really does not look that set up correctly. How I kind of look at it is if you ever owned an iPad, right? And you had an iPad and you had an iPhone app running on an iPad. And you had to click on the ×3 zoom. That's what it looks like to me. Now, over time, will the software get better? Absolutely, yes. And of course, they also do have the little thing popped up. You can actually push that to the left-hand side, and this would look a lot better. It's not going to look as good as a Galaxy Z Fold 4, but again, the price tag really represents that anyway. So going down here, we also do have TikTok, which of course, bam, on the left-hand side, and now on the right-hand side of the Z Fold 4. And it kind of looks like how it looks on the Surface Duo 1 and the Surface Duo 2. If you own those two devices, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It actually looks very similar to the to the Surface Duo 1 and 2 when it comes to TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, you name it, it looks identically a lot alike. And then right here we have Gmail, which of course, again, like I said before, kind of looks better. I kind of like it better a little bit on the Oppo Find N2 than I do the Z Fold 4. Surprisingly enough, Z Fold 4 is more like traditional, just, classy looking. But I kind of like the little bit of the look better on the Oppo Find N2. Right here, we of course do have Chrome and YouTube side by side, because of course that's another cool thing about these phones is you can run two applications at the exact same time, split them down the middle, and it actually looks a lot better on the Find N2 than it does the Galaxy Z Fold 4, which is heavily surprising right there. Now going in and take a look, let's go ahead and bring over the image of the actual cell phone, because the image of the cell phone actually looks pretty dang beautiful. So we looked at it in the very beginning. You literally saw that is it right there on the screen. And I think there's more. Yeah, there's more images as we go down. So this, of course, is what the phone looks like when it's open. Now, it looks like there's a crease, but it said that this is going to be another creaseless display cell phone, just like we saw out of the Oppo Find N5G 1. This is also not going to have a crease. And as we go down here, you guys can see, bam, looks a lot like the Find N5G 1, just a little bit upgraded. And that's perfectly fine. I said this before, when the Oppo Find N5G 2 comes out, N2, whatever you want to call it, there is not much you have to change from the Find N5G 1 to the Find N5G 2. There's not much you have to upgrade. There's not much more you have to enhance. It is perfectly fine how it is. Just add a little bit bells and whistles and you're fine. That's exactly what they did. So right here, of course, it does have a glass back panel, a glass front panel, and of course, Gorilla Glass Victus on the front and the back, and then obviously the foldable display inside. Taking a look at this is how thick the device is. It is a very thick device. Now, of course, because kind of how it works, if you're going to make a phone foldable, if you make it longer, you can make it thinner. If you make it shorter, you're going to have to make it thicker. Just how it works. Still looks very nice. And obviously, this is what it compared to the Z Fold 4. Z Fold 4 right here, bam, look at that crease down the middle. Absolutely god awful. And then Oppo, not as bad. Not as bad. And then when it's closed versus when it's open. And again, like I said, oh my god. The fact it's not going global is really disappointing. Just because of the fact we want to see someone compete with Samsung. We want to see someone actually have a fighting chance versus Samsung. And because right now Microsoft is choking themselves out of this contest, there's no one else we can really compete with when it comes to against Samsung. Google might be going global with their Pixel Fold, and that's the only real chance we have, which is quite disappointing because at this moment in time, if we don't see anyone compete with Samsung, Samsung's going to sit up there on their high horse, and they are not going to change a dang thing about their cell phones moving forward outside of this year. So I think Z Fold 3, Z Fold 4, it was somewhat the same phone. There are a lot of things under the hood that has been upgraded and changed, but nothing drastically crazy. I think that's going to start happening with Z Fold 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 if we do not see a true competitor against Samsung. And again, as long as, we see a lot of these companies not go global, this is going to propel companies like Apple from getting into this market, because if there's only Samsung and there's no real, crazy market for these foldable cell phones, Apple's not getting involved. Apple's only getting involved if they can make a crap ton of money off of it. So at this moment in time, kind of disappointed that they're not going global. But the price tag of this phone will most likely be around $1,200-$1,300. So pretty much perfect point for the average consumer to pick up an affordable cell phone. If you do live in China, though, that's going to be the only time you're going to be getting this cell phone. Or if they do ship out to certain countries. But at this moment in time, globally, you're not going to be able to get this cell phone, which is really disappointing, because if you want it, you're going to have to pay up the $1,500-$1,600, of course, for a more or less resold / scalped cell phone, which really does suck. With that being said, guys, we do have a message from our sponsor, Manscaped. That time of the year, guys, Christmas. You want to look good, smell good, feel good? Manscaped has you covered. Starting off right away, they have the Lawnmower 4.0, which has a LED light and it is waterproof. Of course, facial hair looks amazing, and your downstairs hair too. They have the Crop Preserver and Reviver for your downstairs chills. They have the Weed Whacker for your nose hair and your ear hair. And of course, they also do have body wash and deodorant. You can use code GAMERS, GAMERS, at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. That's code GAMERS, GAMERS, at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, and I'll see you guys next one. Peace.